Thank you for tuning in to Tanaka TV, the best and future biggest fight channel on YouTube. Don't forget to hit that like, that comment, that subscribe button. We're trying to get this channel to over 2K subs by the end of the year. And we cannot do that. This channel cannot do that without your support. So thank you for those who support this channel. And thank you for those who will support this channel in the future. I truly appreciate it. Now, before we get into Islam and what's next for him and Dana White's thoughts on it, I kind of wanted to bring some attention to my plans for 2025 as far as Tanaka TV. First of all, I for sure would like to see more feedback from you guys, from my subscribers, on what you would like to see more from me and more from the channel. And I need it to be constructive, right? Because there's a lot of people out there who will just say things just to troll. And I know that those people are out there, and trust me, I'm just going to scroll right by that. I need constructive criticism. Things you like, things you don't like, how I can better this channel. That is what I'm looking for, and that is what I want to shine light on. Because on top of that, I also want to start making more videos about talking back and forth with people who comment under my videos. You know, because when it comes to making these videos, it's not like streaming, right? The streaming world is very easy to talk back and forth to viewers because it's live. You can answer people right off the cuff. When it comes to YouTube and those who just make videos and aren't a part of the live streaming side of things, which I'm thinking about getting into, I wanted to create a base, a foundation before I got into that. I don't want to be sitting there on live stream talking to myself. I already talk to myself, people. When I make these videos, I'm already going dolo. So I need you guys to comment, first of all, and I'm going to shine light on that. And again, it needs to be constructive because I can't talk really to those who just troll. I'm going to leave y'all to the side. That is my idea. That is my plan for 2025. Now, people, let's get into Islam. More specifically, when it came to last night's fights, or for me, because I live in Japan, this morning's fights. First of all, when it comes to Islam and Dana White saying that Islam is pound for pound #1 right now, I don't disagree with him on that. And we have to separate the thought of pound for pound #1 right now and pound for pound overall in history. Of course, I still think John Jones is probably the GOAT. With some argument, right? There's some argument that maybe Demetrius Johnson is the GOAT, or George St. Pierre is the GOAT. I think Amanda Nunes should be in the conversation for GOAT. But as far as #1 pound for pound, I don't think there really is much of a conversation. Islam is that guy. He is so active as a champion. Not only is he active, he is all around dominant as a champion. What he did to Moicano, on top of everybody else that he has faced in the UFC, it has been overall really dominant. Have we seen him really in much of danger? Maybe a couple times here and there, but I don't recall a time where we thought in a moment that Islam was a second away from being taken out, from being beaten. That's how dominant this man has been. He is by far the boogeyman in the UFC. That's Islam. And so, with that being said, and Islam's domination of Moicano, we know that he was not supposed to fight him. It was supposed to be Arman. And when I first found out that he was not going to fight, I went right to Google and I was like, why did he pull out? And it said back injury. And it's like, okay, maybe something happened. But then as I started to look deep, I started to read the comments. I saw what Dana White basically led off. But not only that, I got the idea that Dana White was very frustrated with Arman. And so with that on top of the comment section saying that he probably wasn't going to make weight, I think that's a big deal. And I understand why Dana White is frustrated. Because at that level, and we're talking the UFC as a whole, if you get to the level of the UFC, you should be able to make weight. That is your main job. And some might think your main job is to put on a good performance. But you can't put on a good performance. You can't even step into the octagon, really, or for it to be something that will count if you don't make weight. So your main job as a UFC fighter, your main job as a professional athlete, especially in the combat world, is to be on weight. And for you to use a back injury as an excuse makes it that much worse. We've seen people like Khalil Roundtree. He doesn't have a problem making weight as far as what I can remember, but he did have that whole like drug test mishap, and he owned up to it. And I think that is more forgivable. It's not necessarily the most responsible thing, because I do have my thoughts with that too, but it is more forgivable if you don't try to mask it, if you own up to it and you say, yeah, I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So I will take whatever repercussions I get for my lapse in preparations. I will take that. And I think it's easier for people to move on. It's easier for the viewers and for the organization to move on, because there is a sense of trust within that. Granted, you messed up, but there is a sense of trust because you owned up to it. That's all I've got to say about that. I don't know for sure if that was the actual case for Arman, but if it was, then shame on you. Shame on you. So Dana White said that he doesn't foresee Arman being placed into a championship contender spot in the near future, that he's going to have to climb the ladder again. Maybe Dana knows something that I don't know. Maybe you guys know something that I don't know. For me, this is all speculation based off of comments. That's all I've got to say about that. Next, what's next for Islam? And Islam spoke on a little bit of that he would move up to fight Du Plessis. And I think that Islam has the frame to do that. And I do think that he has a great chance of beating Du Plessis. I don't know what else Islam can do in that division, because at this point he has pretty much cleared them out. As I'm looking at this division, this lightweight division that Islam is the king of, you've got Arman, you've got Charles Oliveira. I mean, you could run it back with Charles. I think some people would like to see that. I wouldn't hate on it, but he's already beaten Charles. He's already beaten Justin Gaethje. He's beaten Dustin Poirier. There's Max Holloway out there. There's Dan Hooker. But do people really want to see him fight Dan Hooker? I don't know. Dan Hooker has a fight coming up, so we got to see what Dan Hooker can do. You got Michael Chandler. You got Gamrot. Beneil Dariush. So this is a division that he might be able to squeeze a little bit more out of. He's cleared up the division of what I think are the elite contenders in that division, but he's still got a little bit to go. He's still got some people that he can say are eligible to fight. I don't know if they're going to beat him. I wouldn't put money on it. But I think there's some eligibility there. So comment down below, people. Who would you like to see Islam fight next? Do you think that he should move up? Do you think that he could move up and fight Bilal Muhammad? Do you think he could move up and fight Duplessis? And he completely skipped over Bilal. He went right to middleweight and talked about Duplessis. You still got Bilal Muhammad at 170, homie. I think 2025 is going to be interesting. And keep in mind, I said Islam is probably going to stay champion. And I stand on that. So comment down below, people, what you think about Islam's future, what you think about Dana White's comments, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.